Hi everyone, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to today's webinar from iScan team. This is Johnny from Shiny City iScan APAC team, and today I'm going to briefly introduce you about our Solid Edge Shiny City edition. It's just a presentation to introduce you about this software and to let you know what contains in the software and what add-on is available for this software, and what about the maintenance, and later we will have a detailed training and online demonstration of this software in the following webinars. So please keep following our webinar schedules, and let's start today's presentation. So firstly, before introducing you this software, I wanted to talk about why we want to integrate this software with our scanner solution. So as you all know, till now iScan series scanner have been in the market for over 5 or 6 years. So as the developing of our users amount and their applications are more kind of professional, so lots of customers are demanding a tool from us to do the further edit after the scan, which means our users don't want to only scan, only get the data, but the data should be used afterwards. So we've been thinking for a period, what's the best solution we can offer to our users, and what's the extra value we can add on our product. So finally we think, as you are demanding some further processing software and to do maybe some work like reverse engineering, so we choose some professional partners to work with, like Siemens. We choose this Solid Edge Shiny 3D edition software to complete our total scanning, design, simulate workflow. As we always say, we just want to let the professional companies do professional things. Like we Shiny 3D are aiming to provide our users a smooth experience in the scanning and to help you generate the high quality data to achieve the high quality modeling in an efficient and fast way. So we do lots of update and upgrade in both software and hardware to help you improve your efficiency in scanning and improve your using experience in scanning. The same, we leave the professional reverse engineering and CAD work thing to the professional partner like Siemens PLM. So that's how we come up with this idea. We need to add on the Solid Edge into our solution to help our users and our customers and to add on values in their purchase. Talking about the value, I just heard of from the market, the Solid Edge is a very basic version, the foundation version. In the market, it will be around $5,000. And as you all know, added with our scanner, if we talk about iScan Pro 2X Plus, it's just around 7,000 euro in the market. Okay, let's just talk about the Solid Edge software now. So what's in the Solid Edge? Actually, as you know, Solid Edge is a complete solution for your CAD work. You can do mechanic design, electric design, simulation, manufacturing, some other things all together in one software. It's actually a PLM platform for your job. Moreover, it's also a part of the portfolio of Siemens PLM solutions, which means if you use this software, it will be very easy to you to combine your work that from this software, to combine it with the other work from other softwares from Siemens PLM like NX. So the Solid Edge Shiny 3D Edition is just a special OEM version based on the Solid Edge for Shiny 3D. Here is the functions, briefly introduction about this function. It contains the reverse engineering, convergent modeling, synchronous modeling, simulation, generative design, and additive manufacturing. You can see the Solid Edge Shiny 3D Edition includes almost all the necessary functions and process for your later reverse engineering workflow and even some of your CAD workflow. Yes, you can do directly CAD work using this software. It's not only a reverse engineering software for you, it's a complete CAD solution and the reverse engineering solution for your work. If you want to ask what's the difference between the Shiny 3D Edition and other versions that provided by Siemens, here is the function list comparison, and if we talk it briefly, you can see here. Actually, Solid Edge Shiny 3D Edition is developed based on the Solid Edge Foundation version, which contains almost all the functions that the Solid Edge Foundation has, but additionally, as we want to add on values to our customers and to complete their scanning design workflow, we add on the reverse engineering, generative design, and the simulation basic modules onto this software as well, so that you can use this software to complete your design work after the scanning process. So let's just look into those functions one by one. I will just be introducing them briefly to you by using some videos. And as I mentioned just now, later we will have some more webinars by our application engineers to show you the detailed demonstration, and even you can get some training from those webinars. Please just keep following our webinar schedule so that you can learn some detail on those functions. Firstly, let's look into the reverse engineering and convergent modeling. Here, the first video is showing you the process of the reverse engineering. We scanned a model propeller, and now we are doing the reverse engineering work. As you can see in this software, you can do the regional identification so that you can know the different region and fit the proper surface and the models on the identified regions. You can fit the coin, the cylinder, or free surface on the identified regions according to their respective shape. This is just a part of the reverse engineering because it is called engineering, so you need to have some knowledge about it. For example, for the blade, you should know it's kind of free surface, so you should fit it by a free surface. And you need to do some trim work after you fit all the necessary features by those surfaces, so that you can turn your surfaces into an entity, just into a solid entity. So here, we almost got the blade, and you just need to do some further process, like the pattern the blade into 3 pieces and to do some round on the edge of the model. It looks very easy to do the reverse engineering work in the software, right? And here, this is a video to show you the convergent modeling. As you know, the convergent modeling means the software just provides you a solution to help you to use the Boolean calculation on the mesh file and between the mesh file and the B-sample line surfaces, which means here you can directly use your scanned file and your built-up solid models here to do the Boolean calculation. Here we minus the scanned mesh, and we got a shape of the bottom, so that you can get a holder of it very fast. You can directly install it in your part. And even furthermore, you can add on the reversed part. You can edit it, you can do some round on the edge, you can add on some necessary part to fix your holder. This is the idea of the convergent modeling, which is really a very convenient way if you want to do some holder like this. And then let's look into the synchronous modeling. I believe most of you has some CAD work experiences, so that you must know some other CAD softwares like SolidWorks. And in those softwares, in most of those softwares, I believe they are using the modeling method of the history-based modeling, which means you can do a draft drawing first, then you need to extrude your drawings into 3D, extrude your 2D drawing into 3D. It is dimension driven and highly automated. You just need to click your draft, then extrude it so that you can get a 3D model. But for those history-based modeling, there are also some disadvantages. Like, for example, if you have lots of parts assembled together, lots of parts has relationship constrained together. If you want to edit a single part, you cannot directly go to edit it, but you need to edit it step by step. That means you need to pre-plan your CAD work very carefully. It's not so flexible, and if you want to modify one part, you need to go back to the drawing itself, modify the drawing, then modify your 3D model. But here, what Siemens Solid Edge is using is that asynchronous technology. It is very convenient technology for you to modify your 3D model, especially during your reverse engineering work. It is also the dimension-driven, highly automated, feature-based, but also you can directly use a 3D dimension to drive your model directly. In brief, what we say the advantage of this technology, synchronous modeling, is that what you are doing is just what you see and is just what you can get. Let me use a video to show you the idea of the synchronous modeling. Here you can see we don't need to go back to the drawing, the draft drawing itself. We just directly do the modification on the 3D model itself, extend it, extrude it more, or adjust the parameters of it directly on the model itself. You can choose part of it and to do the assembly work. If there is no constraint between the parts, you can modify the parts as you want. You don't need to modify them all together. And even you can use the section diagram to do a modification. So the section diagram will drive the modification of your 3D model itself. So that is the idea of synchronous modeling. I do think if you get used to this new model of synchronous modeling, you will also think this is a very convenient way to do your modeling. Then we also, despite all those modeling and reverse engineer work, we also provide you the simulation work, which is the basic version by default. If you want a professional version and if you want the analysis result report, you may need to purchase the add-on, where I will mention the price of it later. And here, for this simulation, after your design, you do need to do some simulation on the stress, on the pressure, or even on the motion, so that you can know if your part can afford the real condition of the real using application situation. So here is just 2 screenshots from the software to show you the idea of the simulation. And despite the simulation, after it, if you find here there is some default or some defect, defeated part or design in the part, you do need to modify it. And here is another function named generative design. This function can just help you to do to calculate the model according to the force it will afford and to save your materials. As you all know, for the manufacturing, save the material, saves the time. Save the time means it saves your cost. Here is a video for you to see the whole process from scanning to design and using the generative design to design the part. And we will have a comparison between the generative result and the original design result. This video is a complete process. Previously, we used a scanner iScan to scan this part, and we imported the file into Solid Edge to do the reverse engineering work. We do the drawings according to the shape and the contour of the model. Then we got those surfaces. For those free surfaces, we identify those regions and apply and fit the proper surface on it. Yeah, and as the same process before, you need to just trim those surfaces and stitch them together so that you can get your entity here. For some part, you need to draw the contour according to its shape and to extrude the 3D model from the drawing. You can just modify the 3D model any time you want. This is also one benefit I mentioned previously for the synchronous technology, synchronous modeling. Here we do all the surfaces and the entity. You can directly modify it according to your need and according to the shape of your scanned mesh file. After you achieve the entity, you can do some more modifications on it, like to do some round on the edge and to drill out those holes. If you notice, the process of drilling out those holes are also very easy. You just need to draw your draft according to the 3D model, the scan mesh model. Then you can just extrude it to get your material empty so that you get your holes. And now we are doing a simulation to check if the part is a proper part for our real application situation. And after that, we are going to do the generative design according to the real pressure and force the part will be afforded in the real application situation. Here, according to those conditions you added on, the software helped you to generate an ideal model that will at the same time afford the force but gives you the same strength, and it saves much of materials. Then we export the part to do a 3D print. That's the final print. Here is the comparison for the generative design. Before generative design, you can see here we compare it with the parts weight and the material consumption and the time consumption. So after the generative design, it saves around 70% of the weight, saves around 60% of the material, and saves a print time around 25%. Now here is one more function called Additive Manufacturing, which I have mentioned a little bit before. Let's look into the interface of this function. In the tab area, there is a tab called 3D Print. If you go into it, let's look. There are some options for you to do some preparations for your later 3D print work. This function is for you to optimize your model, to prepare your model for your later 3D print process. It will be easier for you if you process it here and then 3D print it. Here we got some functions like physical thread, delete voids, and reorientation of your model. You can orient it on your platform so that you can directly print it later. And there are also some functions like wall thickness validation and the overhang part validation to validate if your part exists some part like the thin wall or the overhang area, to check if they are proper to print. And in the file tag, there is also an option for 3D print to export your file as the 3D print format like STL. And here you can also choose your size of the 3D printer so that you can see if your part size is proper for your printer to print. That's all the introduction about the functions of Solid Edge Shiny 3D Edition. And here, as I mentioned, for the generative and simulation part, if you want to get the final result, if you want to get the report of the simulation, if you want to get the final printed model, the model result of the generative design, you do need to purchase the add-on. So for the add-on, here is the price. For Generative Pro, it requires 7,500 euro, and for simulation, it's 5,000 euro. And for the maintenance and upgrade of this software, as you know, Solid Edge every year it will upgrade their software. Last year it was called Solid Edge 2019, and this year we have a new version, Solid Edge 2020. So actually, within 1 year that you acquired your Solid Edge with our scanner, within 1 year, if there is one new version of Solid Edge, it is for free for the upgrade. But what if after 1 year, like for example, like you purchased our handheld scanner iScan Pro 2X Plus 1 year back, maybe 1.5 years, and now there is one more new version of Solid Edge released. If you want to get it updated, it costs $600 around. And now we are providing a dongle for you, for our users, to use a Solid Edge with our scanner. And for later, we will just not use the dongle again, and we will provide you an activation code, online activation method for later customers of the iScan and Solid Edge. So that's all for today's webinar. Hope you can just get knowing of this Solid Edge software, know what it can do, and know why we want to provide it to you. We do want to add on values to our customers to make their purchase worth, so that they can be happy with our 3D scanning and reverse engineering solution. And later, as I mentioned before, we have more and more webinars are coming. This is the webinars related to solid edge training. Our application engineer Li Hao will just deliver those trainings and online demonstrations to you on the detailed function. Here, the basic part design, reverse engineering, and the simulation and the generative design part will be provided later. Just keep following us and keep following our webinar schedule so that you can get know more and more about our solutions. Thank you, that's all. And if you have any question, just leave your questions here. We will just answer you here. Thank you.